My name's David Wood, Chair of London Futurists. I want to spend a few moments talking about a forthcoming meetup, Projects to Accelerate Radical Healthy Longevity. This meetup will be held as a hangout on air, live on YouTube, on Sunday, September the 29th, 2 days earlier than the forthcoming Longevity Day, which itself is on the 1st of October. The opposite of healthy longevity is aging. We all know about the physical, external appearance of aging. Here we're looking at some beautiful images from the 5-minute long film Danielle, made by Anthony Cornelio. You can see the full version of this film on the internet as indicated. So aging is the loss of youthfulness. But more than just having an effect on our physical appearance, aging changes our likelihood of being impacted by various terrible chronic diseases, such as Alzheimer's, diabetes, cancer, stroke, heart disease, and so forth. As we age, it becomes more likely that we are affected by these diseases, and we are affected more seriously by these diseases. Of course, there's a lot of research on each of these diseases separately, but there's a strong argument to look at how aging actually complicates and accelerates everything. Here I'm sharing the argument of Dr. Philippe Sierra, who's the director of the Division of Aging Biology at the American National Institute on Aging. You can see him talking about this way of thinking on YouTube as indicated. Here, aging doesn't just mean chronological aging. It means changes in how our body behaves. It means the way in which our cells and parts of our body more easily become inflamed. It means changes in how our body adapts to stress. It means the loss of ability for our body to regenerate cells from stem cells. There are changes more generally in biological metabolism and proteostasis. There's an accumulation of damage throughout the body, and there's also changes in epigenetics and regulatory RNA. These 7 factors, as explained by Dr. Philippe Sierra, are 7 strands of analysis that are going to be featured at a forthcoming major summit held in Beersheba, Maryland, the USA, at the end of October. At this summit, there's a large gathering of major scientists covering many of the fields of biology, biochemistry, pharmaceuticals, and so forth. They're looking at how the diseases that I mentioned earlier can all be made less terrible by looking at these underlying causes, by looking indeed at addressing and ending, possibly reversing aging. Recently I had the pleasure to attend another conference on aging, this time in Cambridge, the United Kingdom, SENS 6. This conference was organised by the SENS Research Foundation, headed by Dr. Aubrey de Grey. Scientists gathered from around the world and described progress in ways to understand, repair, and even reverse aging. There's a lot of encouraging factors. It's worth looking at the mission and goals of the SENS Research Foundation as laid out on their website. The goal is to expedite the development of truly effective therapies to postpone and treat human aging by tackling it as an engineering problem, not seeking elusive and probably illusory magic bullets, but instead enumerating the accumulating molecular and cellular changes that eventually kill us, and identifying ways to repair, to reverse those changes, rather than merely to slow down their further accumulation. This broadly defined regenerative medicine is what we refer to as rejuvenation biotechnologies. SENS is held every 2 years. This was the 3rd SENS conference that I had the pleasure to attend. I can say there is a clear progress in the depth and in the practicality of the research that is shown at these conferences. There's much to be encouraged about. But what about those of us who are not well versed in the relevant branches of fundamental science? What can we do if we're not able to get involved in fundamental research into the science and engineering of solutions for radical healthy longevity? That's what's being discussed at the Hangout on Air on the 29th of September. We're gathering a group of activists from around the world who are going to share news about the projects that they're involved with, and they're going to share ideas about how more people can be involved in these projects. As I mentioned, this London Futurist event is part of worldwide activities for Longevity Day on the 1st of October. The current name for Longevity Day, as stated by the United Nations, is the International Day of Older Persons. The name International Day of Older Persons is all about respect for older people. It's anti-ageism. The proposed new name, Longevity Day, reflects instead anti-aging rather than anti-ageism. Both are important, but I believe we need to raise awareness of the real possibilities of anti-aging, radical healthy longevity in the next few years. At this meetup, we're going to be hearing views from the following four panelists: Franco Cortesi, based in Canada; Ilya Stambler, based in Israel; Maria Konovalenko, based in Russia; and Aubrey de Grey, who heads SENS, which has branches in the United Kingdom and Mountain View, California, and which has activities all over the world. Each of these panelists is going to be sharing views on the following. First, the projects they have recently completed. Second, projects in which they are currently involved. And third, issues or factors which are holding them back from being more successful. They're going to be encouraging listeners to find out if there are ways in which they can become involved in some of these projects. We're going to be debating which of these projects sound most effective and most reasonable. And listeners to the broadcast will be able to interact in real time, online, and will be able to vote on which questions should be put to the panelists. The panelists will then discuss the most popular questions. For more details of this, for more details of each of the panelists and their backgrounds, see our meetup.com site. For more information about all of London Futurist activities, please see londonfuturist.com. Our mission is a serious analysis of radical scenarios for the next 30 to 40 years. We spend time debating and considering what is technically feasible, and then, out of the set of options of technical feasibility, we discuss and debate what is desirable, and then some of us also get involved in activities to enable and accelerate the desirable scenarios. Enabling and accelerating radical healthy longevity falls squarely within this framework. I welcome your involvement.